Okay, we... Oh, ow.
Let's see. Couldn't have been too late. There we go. Hi. I was downstairs and I don't have my phone, and I'm like, what time is it? And I was like, it's right there on the oven. I was like, no. Not that one. What does your phone say?
Yay, we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 10 seconds late. Darn it. Anyway, good morning. Mal will be here in a moment. We had like a last minute decision about what to eat. We had to change everything. We got those little sausage biscuits. Thomas says, it's okay, I was an hour late to work. Well, that's not good. That shirt is illegal. No, it's not. Not today, at least. Also, hi, folks. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday. Tom says, I stayed 2 hours late yesterday, and I worked 2 extra hours today. Oh, yeah, so then it doesn't matter. You're fine. That's the rules, right? Like, if you're late for work, you just work more again, and then your boss goes, okay. I don't know. I don't have a real job. So I'm not sure. I did work a real job, though. When I was in the restaurant. So, what does your boss say if you're late? I don't know. Ask Chaz. I just do whatever Chaz tells me to. yeah, Chaz. What do you say?
He just gives you a look.
That's fair. I don't like the Chaz look. Not like Chaz's fashion sense. That's not what I'm referring to.
You mean when he gives you the look, you feel shame?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Chaz says he knows what he did.
When I otherwise feel no shame whatsoever. So, anyway. Look at this little tiny, beautiful biscuit.
Coffee!
So you like these?
Hmm.
The other day, Mal tried one. She tried to buy them.
They're not bad.
And she was like, wow!
They're better than I thought they'd be.
Those are pretty good! She sounded just like that, 100%. Those are pretty good! And I was like, yeah, they're pretty good. And they are. Like, they're not, amazing. They are microwaved. But, like, if you want something warm in the morning, and you're like, I want a little biscuit. There you go. Weisenrell says, try them with maple syrup. I've had some, actually, that are, they're microwavable. And then instead of sausage, they're, I guess, maybe they were sausage. Anyway, the important part is that the biscuit part was like little pancakes, and they were infused with maple syrup. And they were good. So, maybe at some point, I'll find those and get those again. Sometime soon. I'm gonna finish this. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just gonna be like done with the food part.
Okay. It's like another bite for you.
That's rude. You're really assuming a lot there. You don't know how many bites this could be. This could be 3. It's not like I eat fast. Anyway, you're right. It's 1 bite. Dumb.
I put cheese on mine. It was good.
Where did you get cheese?
The refrigerator. Just took out a little bit of cheddar and...
You didn't offer me any cheese.
You were already upstairs with yours. You took yours and ran.
Mallory, we were late. We were 10 seconds late today.
We always have cheese. What kind of Wisconsinite would I be?
I mean,
63 Phil says, of course the Wisconsinite has cheese. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. True.
Mm-hmm.
We do generally always have cheese around.
Yeah.
That's not really something we ever run out of.
We gotta, use up that fresh mozzarella I got, so we need to have pizza.
Okay, we need to make a pizza.
Yeah.
Aren't we out of mushrooms?
No, we're making a margarita pizza.
Oh,
So, we're not out of mushrooms.
okay. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. God, I was...
Wyson says, I'm not even from Wisconsin, and we have 3 types of cheese in the fridge. Yeah, we have fresh mozzarella, we have like an Italian cheese blend, we have a block of cheddar, we have shredded cheddar, we have cream cheese, and we have that boysen stuff to make mashed potatoes. We have a lot of cheese right now.
I was saying how good my coffee was, but because everyone had been writing pizza in chat, I started to say pizza. It was like, this pizza is so good. It's my favorite pizza. It's not pizza, in fact. Anyway, I'm gonna stay on top of things this morning.
Real Brooklyn pizza.
Real Brooklyn pizza. It's my Thomas impression. He sounds like that in real life. He tries very hard, like on the vlog, to keep that to a minimum. That's
He just nailed it.
That's his actual voice. We got a sub from QRoss06 and Broken Dylan. I thought it said Brooklyn. Real Brooklyn Dylan. Thank you both. You're welcome.
Down before I spill it.
I know. What's the problem, son? I'm just feeling really broken. You feeling really Brooklyn? No. 19 months from Josh A. Brom. My favorite toasty internet grandparents. How are you guys faring in the during times where literally the planet is closed? Have a great day, living, breathing pompadour. We're getting there. We're getting there. Every day, my hair strays further from God. It's fun because, about once a week after I get out of the shower, I'll just do really crazy stuff with it, and my hair is doing different things each week.
Yeah.
I'm capable of
just
more
when I
and
think
more.
It's going to do something, it does something else. When I think it's just going to keep going this way, it's suddenly down, and then it's back up.
It continues to surprise. And isn't that what life is all about?
Your hair surprising you?
Hair being genuinely surprising. Anyway, Josh, thank you. 4 months from Macau 2020. Welcome to Crunch, peeps.
Thomas said that your impression was him. Like, he's like, are you me?
Yes.
And Jules said he was feeling very Brooklyn. Broken.
Coffee.
Wait, hold on. Did you do that as a bit, or
No,
did
I
you
forgot.
misspeak?
I misspoke.
So wait, which one is it? He's feeling broken or Brooklyn?
I don't know, ask him.
This is the kind of thing you can't mess up. Both.
I don't know anymore.
Feeling very Brooklyn this morning. I'm sorry? Broken. Oh, okay. Zantrack has a good question. Is this the longest your hair's ever been? Yes. In my entire life.
It wasn't longer the first year we started dating?
No.
I have a photo.
No, it
saved.
was not. I promise you it wasn't.
I
And
have
my
a
hair was
photo
long.
saved. I gotta go save it from where I posted it yesterday.
Long. It's more like big. True, Tendacrot. I mean, I know what Mal's talking about, but like, I really don't think my hair's ever been longer than this. Ever. Mal's thinking of my freshman year of college. I mean, that is not longer than my current hair.
It isn't?
No. Definitely not.
That was spring break that year.
So that's otherwise the longest my hair's ever been?
Well, I didn't have a photo
Because,
of
like,
right
here's
before
the
it got
thing.
cut.
Here's the thing. If I take my hair, if I take, like, the front of my hair and, like, I pull it down, like, my hair is, like, getting to the point where it's, like, past
Okay, yeah,
my eyes.
maybe it is.
My hair's never been this long before. So, yeah, this is, to answer the question, yes. They still want to see the photo.
Oh, I know. I was
still
working
posted
on it.
Like deer in the headlights. What year is this? 2007.
8.
8.
8, because it would have been spring.
Spring 2008. So this is 12 years ago. My impression of myself when I was a baby. And yeah, that would have been pre-vlog. Because
Jules
vlog,
says
vlog
he'll
started
do your
later.
hair.
As long as I get to wear goggles. As long as I get to wear
Just
goggles.
keep your eyes closed till it's done.
See, Jules couldn't get anywhere in the hairdressing business because all the clients would be like, I'm blind! It would have been like, that's just part of the process. We start over here, we go up around the top, and then we cut through across your face. I'm always, that is just always going to stick with me. They'll just have to trust me. It looks great. Also, 2008 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I know 1962 is the joke, but
We were dating when that photo was taken.
we had just started dating. That was in March.
Yeah.
John Kay had come to
Yep.
visit. That's right.
Yeah.
That's the face of a person who's been dating for 1 month, if that. Less than a month, maybe. We started dating like early March, right?
Yeah.
That's the look of someone who's been dating for 2 weeks. And now, look at that. 12 years later, and we're still drinking coffee together.
We weren't drinking coffee then.
We thought about it though.
No, I was living on energy drinks at that point in my life.
Satsy says thank you, Mal, for putting up with him.
You're welcome, Satsy.
No one thinks
It's a lot of work.
no one thinks that as much as me. Wasn't there something yesterday where you just sighed very heavily and you were like, you need help? And I was like, and thank you for being there.
Jules, I always love balls. BAWLS. That
Sorry.
energy drink.
I had to find what the context of that was. You did not give any context.
It was in a blue bottle.
It's an energy drink.
Yeah, it was.
I've always loved balls! Good morning.
Apparently I need more coffee.
I always hated energy drinks.
I know you did.
I remember, I've probably told this story on the vlog before, but I remember one time very specifically I was with my mom. We were in like Sam's Club, and they were doing one of the little, not trials, what do they call?
Samples.
Samples. We were all in our lab coats. They were doing a sample of an energy drink. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe Rockstar?
Sam's Club trials.
The Sam's Club. Ooh, I'm working on my next book. Anyway, we were walking past and the guy was like, you want to try this? And I was like, sure. And like I knew I didn't like energy drinks. But I grabbed it and I tasted it. I had like no reaction and I threw it away and the guy goes, what do you think? And like without missing a beat, I was like, it tastes just like horse piss. And the guy was like, yeah, sometimes the flavor be a little strong. And then we walked away and my mom was like, didn't like that, huh? I was like, no, I didn't. And that must have been like shortly after it came out. I don't know. I was probably...
I don't know.
I was in high school.
I started having problems halfway through college because it was too much caffeine for me, and I've learned I'm very sensitive to it.
Yes.
Because when I would have it, like anything, I would get super jittery and like talking really fast. So then I started to cut it out, and now it's just coffee. And it has to be coffee with enough time for it to get out of my system by the time I go to bed, so before noon.
So many people asking if I've had horse piss before. It's an expression, but also, maybe.
Now I only have them during Extra Life, so I can survive. When I
the
get...
Extra Life trials.
Yeah, that's what it is. I get one when we go shopping, and then I save it until, like, I just can't function anymore at, like, 4 a.m., and that's when I drink it.
We are so different. We are very different people. Anyway, 18 months from Joshua F36, Twitch baby number 2. Congratulations. And you got the 1+. 4 months from Cure Jupiter. Appreciate it. Thank you. 15 months from Isashi09. I'm actually off and awake to watch this live. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad you're here.
This is what it was.
Oh, I remember those bottles.
Yeah.
They look uncomfortable.
They weren't, like,
They
spiky.
well, I can't say what they look like, but they look
They had a
inappropriate.
sugar-free version that was clear, but fake sugars always messed with my stomach, so I never liked it.
Yeah, the last time I tried an energy drink...
Oh wait, it was cherry.
You remember the last time I tried an energy drink?
Yeah, it was when I had one.
It was, we were on a road trip. Where were we going? Probably to Chaz. We're always going to Chaz.
Yeah.
Jules, if at every point you think that, if you think that stopping caffeine would kill you, you may be taking in too much caffeine. But the last time I had an energy drink, we were on a road trip. It was on the vlog. I don't know how long ago it was. Probably a few years now. But I don't remember which one it was. But we stopped at the gas station, and I got one because I was just feeling very tired. So, I can't believe Steven wants me dead. You just, probably shouldn't be dependent on a substance. That's called substance dependency.
He had a NOS, N-O-S. Is it N-O-S
That's right.
or NOS?
That's right.
NOS.
I think it's pronounced NOS. It's a... Coffee's dependent on me. NOS is it's a reference to the... is it nitrous oxide? It's the stuff that makes the car go fast. It's like the people that really like cars and like illegal street racing, they get it all set up in the car, so they hit the button and it goes zoom.
Just says car juice.
Car juice. It's car juice. They know exactly. Yeah. No, I remember that. Squid's right. My quote on drinking that was, someone at the Mountain Dew plant screwed up. Yep, I can hear my voice. Yeah, okay. I've just historically never liked energy drinks. Maybe there's one out there that's good, but I think with how they're made, like they're not allowed to be good. I think they're all kind of bad. Created by horses. 15 months from Harry Constant. Please, grandparents, rescue me from my impending death by boredom with toast and coffee. You got it. We're here for your boredom. 4 months from Samarolian. 4 months now. Time flies in lockdown. It does. It does. We are now past the...
It's been 4 months.
No. No, it's been 2 months.
Oh, they have the resub for 4 months.
They had the resub for 4 months. Yeah, it was like March 15th that the pandemic was declared.
Yeah.
So we're at like 10 weeks, something like that. 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy. Good morning, grandparents. How are you this morning? I'm doing great, and I definitely don't have any plans to make you sing about morning Matthew. So just relax and don't worry about how many bits I have left.
Don't worry.
Also, is that... Oh, my God. Thinking about Morning Matthew. As a Matthew, I prefer Matt. I did have a... Okay. My keyboard stopped working. It was time for Morning Matt today. Everyone looked around and they say, I don't think that man's name is Matthew. No, I'm pretty sure that guy's supposed to be Mario. Supposed to be Mario. That wasn't awful. Not the worst I've ever done. Was that today? So I have everything scheduled far in advance. Was today the Morning Matthew one? Yes? Okay. I didn't know when that was coming out. It is... Shout out to all of our Matthews today. Raise your hand if you are a Matt/Matthew. I want to see how many Matthews we have. Jules. 1. Sorta. Okay. It's fine. We'll take sortofs. Mr. Kumo says, I just admitted to that. I have a friend called Matt. That's good. Friends count. If you know a Matt. Suddenly everyone's like, well, shoot. I know a Matt. This one's for the Matts. Thank you. Thank you for getting in there and killing them Goombas and also being a plumber. I know a floor mat. That's a very upsetting phrase. Because when you use the word know, it implies that you have had some sort of, like, relation with this mat. Like, you know them. You've had conversations with this mat. Quarantine's different for everyone. Anyway, that was 5,000 bits from Mr. Game Boy, who says, sing about Morning Matthew as a Matthew. I prefer Matt. I did have concern when you started, which leads into my question. For those in the Discord that share their names on the regular, is there a reason you don't say the names rather than the usernames? Is it because you just... is it just because too many names, or are you trying to be considerate in not saying our names? Okay. Like, for me, personally? I mean, so the reason I generally use, like, usernames instead of real names is because I know myself, and I get confused very easily. So, instead of me botching someone's name, if I read their username, I know that I can get that correct. Basically. And Brandon says some of the Discord users prefer not to have their names out there. Which is, I mean, that's a good reason too. But like for like stream purposes, there's occasions where I do know someone's name. But sometimes I question myself, so I'm like, crap. You know, is that Dave or is that not Dave? You know, so instead of messing it up, I just like to read the username. Which is another, you know, sometimes people are, you know, they'll leave a alert or something and they'll say, oh, you know, this is my username, but please call me whatever. Stephen Quick, is my name Dave or not? You just said your name's Matt. Which is it? You're changing your story, Jules. So, you know, if people are like, hey, call me this, my first thought is, well, have you considered putting that in your Twitch username? Like, have your username and then in parenthesis call, like, put your actual name or something. Because I'm just, you know, I'm worried that I'll mess it up. That's usually why.
And there's some people that sort of have that, so that's how I remember their names. So.
Yeah. So occasionally, when you're watching a stream, you will hear me use someone's name instead of their username. But if I do that, it's only because I'm like 100% certain.
Chaz says, is that how you remember my name? Yeah, I wouldn't know it otherwise, Chaz. I haven't known you for over 12 years.
I've known Chaz longer than you.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I didn't join Starman until 2006.
Baby.
I I know.
Baby. 5 months from Courtney D. Smith. Yay, 5 months. Cheers. Thank you, Courtney. 6 months, double plus, from Justin the Light. Actually up for breakfast stream for once. Really have nothing else to say because I'm just a lurker who normally watches the VODs, but keep doing what you're doing. Well, thank you, Justin.
Coffee!
I'm gonna try. So far, so good. Keeping it up. 300 bits from Nixelpad. So yesterday morning, I had a Skype interview with the APs at the middle school down the road from me, and I felt really good about it. They said they'd be getting back to me soon, but they seemed really impressed. This is my first ever adult interview, and this would be my second ever job if everything works out. So I hope this goes well. Well, I mean that's good. Like one of the hardest things is like getting an interview, and then after that, making sure the interview goes well.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you kind of figure out as you go. So I'm not sure if you know this, Nixel, but it's also nice to send a thank you after the interview. So, like...
Oh my god. Thinking about balls. Sometimes when you're just sitting around having a think that you need more energy, so you grab an energy drink. You don't know where to get it, so you travel down to the mall. That's when you tell the cashier, give me some of them balls. Then they ask you to leave. 6.9 out of 10. I'll take it, Mech. That's fine. I was not expecting that song. So sing about balls, hashtag family friendly. I had to do this one now, brother. Thank you, Mr. Game Boy. Not as bad as it could have been, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's fine.
You were talking about sending a thank you?
Yeah, so like, I don't know, like there's like things that I didn't know starting interviewing that like no one ever told me. And then I was like researching stuff and looking up stuff and people were like, send thank you notes. And I was like, oh. I still had trouble getting jobs. Like, because I applied for a lot of things throughout the years teaching and I never got them. But it's a good thing to send a thank you. The last job I interviewed for, I sent a thank you, and the principal really liked that. And he was like, I want to hire you, but I have to hire someone else because they have a connection. And he's like, but I'll let you know if I hear anything. Like, he was super nice. I liked him.
Didn't you also go to an interview once where...
They asked for my purse. They asked if I brought a gift. It was so weird.
The word you're looking for is unprofessional.
Yeah, it was super unprofessional. It was with an assistant principal, the AP, and it was with another art teacher, the lead art teacher. And my purse that I brought was a famous art piece printed on a purse. It's the Tournée du Chat Noir piece, which is an Art Nouveau poster. And it was my purse. And I brought it, and I set it on the table, you know, next to my portfolio, because it's not very big. And after the interview, the art teacher's like, so did you bring something for us?
And she was like motioning at your
and she was,
thing.
And like, the way we were sitting, like, she motioned sort of towards me. And I had my portfolio there. I was like, well, I have copies of lesson plans and extra copies of my resume and cover letter. I was like, you know, would you like those things? And she was like, no, that. And she kind of gestured like over like my stuff, and I was like, that's my purse. And I was like,
who does that?
She was like, oh. I was like, I'm thinking,
that
does
thing.
She want a bribe?
Give me that thing.
Like, it was so weird.
Yeah, I remember because Mao was in there, and then she came out in the car and was like, how to go. And
I did that interview when I was still teaching in Columbia.
Yep.
That's how long ago that was.
Mao was mad. She was like, who does that? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's a weird situation because, like, on the one hand, you want to be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But also, you're there to try and get the job, so you're just trying to be very, like, overly nice.
I ended up getting the job that I got, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had to go to orientation, and they sent me to that school.
That you interviewed at where they asked for the purse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she gave me, like, a this is how the district works kind of orientation. Along with the other person that got that job, because I got the other job that wasn't at her school. So it was really weird.
Neat.
Jules asked if TRG was teachers in a school and I was the principal who would teach what.
What would you teach in,
I'd have to, like,
in TRG school?
I'd have to, like, put all the classes down and everyone's name and then, like, draw lines and figure that out.
I know the class that we would joint teach.
What?
General responsibility. Sorry, TRG group. We would teach
No,
having a sleep
they're
schedule.
Not students. They're other teachers.
Oh.
Who
But
would
then
teach what?
Oh. That's what I was saying. I was like, we'll make sure that everyone has a sleep schedule. It's gonna be the first thing. What would the TRG group teach? Home economics with Luca-chan.
Carlos and Seb would co-teach all music, band, jazz, and choir.
I mean, well, the good thing is, I have to wake up at 8 a.m. consistently. I mean, even I'm not super great at that. Although it's not always my fault. There's two of us, and we're trying to go to bed at the same time, and sometimes one of us is to blame and not the other.
Jules would teach cooking after that cereal.
So one thing about our group is that, like, we would definitely have music covered.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be like a normal
You
school.
want to take an elective? We just got music.
We
got guitar. We have
we've got guitar. We have guitar
jazz,
again.
We have.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, it would be like a normal school, but people would go there and then they'd come out and be like, "Yeah, so now I'm really good at music." I would. I don't know. I would. You know, if we had to cover like normal subjects, it would be fun to teach history.
Tom would teach drama.
There you go. I would teach spelling, probably, because I'm very good at spelling.
English.
Well, I don't know that I'm great at English, but I'm really good at spelling. I can spell things. I don't know why. Anyway, I gotta keep moving on. 21 months at Tier 3. Platinum Toast, Danny X6. 2 + 1 = 21, right? I don't know. I was a music student. Did you go to the TRG school? That's what we've been talking about. 5 months from Keldio60. Appreciate it, Keldio. Thank you. 21 months from Peach Macaron. 21 months. Insert joke about being able to drink here. But it's months. When we get to 21 years, we will have been streaming a while. 3 months from Shane Savage. Appreciate that. 20 months from Cassie. Nothing witty to say. Too early in the morning. Brain. This is fun. Cassie meant to say brain not working yet, but it says brain now working yet, which just gives credence to the fact the brain's not working yet. Give it a little time. Brain wakes up. Brain wakes up. It's hard for me as soon as I wake up as well. 7 months from Writer Book Ninja. 7 months sure came fast. I'm excited to hopefully receive Xenoblade tomorrow. I blame Chugga Conroy for making me a fan of it due to his Let's Play. Hope you both have a good day and keep being amazing. Yeah, that game comes out tomorrow, right?
I think so.
29th?
Tomorrow's Pearl's birthday in Animal Crossing. I have a gift for her.
Yeah, yeah, I can't say anything about Xenoblade yet. I don't know. I legitimately don't know yet if there will be a first 20 on that, but maybe. So don't get your hopes up yet, but you know, maybe that would be neat. It'd finally give me a chance to play it.
Someone mentioned that Masae would be good at self-defense.
Yeah.
See, I think she could be like a PE teacher because she could just like
yell,
like
yeah,
keep running.
Oh yeah. Masae
More
should do
push-ups.
Masae should do PE. I like that a lot. And yeah, it'd be very easy to just take all the music people and assign them music roles, but it'd be fun, you know, to imagine other people doing other things. I don't know. English would be fun. I'd have to
We had a
study up on
film
stuff
in the school I taught at.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to do that.
They did the news. They filmed
that would have been so
other
cool.
stuff.
So we didn't have any of that stuff at my school.
I know.
maybe I would have been more prepared for college.
Your school is too small.
It was a tiny little
Musicians
thing.
fight to the death for the one single music teacher.
They could just rotate out.
Well,
Oh,
there's
Carlos
band,
would love to teach math.
choir.
There you go. See, that's the subject I forget exists.
Math.
So,
Jules wants to teach psych.
wait, are we
Psychology?
doing? Is this college or high school?
High school.
Okay. Is there psychology in high school?
I had psychology in high school.
Because I was like,
Well, the semester I took it, I wanted to be a psychologist, and then I was like, that's a lot of schooling.
look at all these people. I don't got no. I didn't have any of those things.
Brandon says there's an AP program for it.
Dang, so many people had psychology. Yeah, well, it's fine. I'm old now. Like I don't have to be upset about classes I didn't have in high school. I'm done with school, which is the best feeling. It's a feeling that's very unfamiliar. Like once you get out of like college, or if you're not going to college, once you get out of high school, like those, it's such a weird thing. It's something Carlos will have to adjust to. But it's just this very odd feeling of like, you know, once you're out of school, there's no more exams. There's no more studying for things. And like everything shifts. It's really weird. It's hard to explain, but I think people will be able to relate. Sab says, "Yeah, now I get to be the teacher and give exams."
It's weird to write your own exams. It's so weird. Every time I would write an exam, I was like, am I really doing this? And like you wonder, like, have I made too many A's in the multiple choice section? Are they gonna think like, why are there so many A's? It shouldn't be A. So you like think about those things and think about having to move answers around so it's not all A's. And is this question too easy? Oh, I loved putting funny, like, extra credit questions that were still related to the content, but, like, were either, like, super easy or, like, funny. That was my favorite. One semester when I was doing photography, I had each student pick a photographer, have to do a presentation, and then I would sit there and take notes with the students. And then whatever I took notes on and the things that they told me that was important, that's what I would take notes on, and then I would write a quiz on it, and then they'd have a quiz, so they were learning photography history, and then they would have a quiz, because I had to give a certain amount of tests. Mm-hmm. So those would be my tests.
You sound like you were a fun teacher.
I mean, I'd like to think so. I know there's students who hated it, but they also didn't try, so...
Well. Let's see. 300 bits... Here, have me. 300 bits from Nixelbad, who says, "We've been waiting a whole hour. You're an hour late. How dare you let your grandchildren wait that long?" I mean, sometimes 10 seconds can feel like an hour. So I understand that. It's weird. I always try to be very, very on time for streams, but some other things in my life, I'm like, it's all right. It depends.
Yeah.
There's a scale.
Out of all our friends, we're most likely to be late.
There's a social acceptability scale. Like for Lunch Bunch, when Lunch Bunch was happening, like I could
Roland always on time.
Roland is always on time, and the few times that we were like, "Oh my God, we beat Roland," like we'd find out that he was already in the restaurant sitting down, and we're like,
we're like, "Oh, there you are."
Yeah. So, have a good morning, Jules. Good luck on your video. 200 bits from Cure Jupiter. I hope Jupiter gets cured soon. Jupiter been sick. Appreciate it. 300 bits from Prince, who says, "I just saw a comic of Dr. Eggman trying to get Knuckles to tell him what pronouns Knuckles use, finally calling on Sonic for help, and honestly, I have been blessed this morning." Well, good. Everyone needs a little blessing. And maybe
I'm out of my blessing.
A little coffee. I was gonna say that's my blessing. I finished my coffee.
Wow, you finished your food and your coffee.
Who am I?
What kind of morning is this?
It's good. It might be a good morning. I'll tell Mallory. It's a good morning.
Yeah.
You know why? Because yesterday was a good day.
Yeah. We had a tropical storm come through yesterday.
I am mad. We're all mad. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had I don't know if people knew that. We had a tropical storm come through. It rained all day yesterday, and was like, oh, okay.
It rained so hard it was coming in the back door.
Yeah, the
Not
house,
underneath the door where you'd assume water came in.
Through the window.
Yeah, like the window has molding around it, and it was leaking from that.
The window that's in the door.
Yeah.
And it was just a
where
pretty
water
constant,
should not be coming out.
constant stream. So we just had like a towel back there, and I'm like, this house is so well designed. I love it. So good. So good. Anyway. But yeah, yesterday was...
It was only a tropical storm, so like some wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour and just a lot of rain. It wasn't even...
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. We don't start paying attention until gusts get to like 70. 70 miles per hour, it's like, let's bring in the chairs on the porch.
Shingo says, hope the landlord isn't watching. Well, it's not our fault that the door is leaking, but we put a towel down as soon as we noticed.
Yeah. And like, on the one hand, we should probably reach out to the landlord and be like, this is wrong. Along with these other things that we've messaged you about and you never responded to. But the whole thing right now is like, do we really want people coming over to fix stuff? And the answer is like, not really.
Yeah, we don't want people in our house right now.
Not really. This is not really the ideal time to have someone come fix stuff. So unless something is like actively on fire, then probably not gonna bother.
Hi, Butt-E.
Is he Butt-E? Because
I had a little choke there in the middle of that.
Is he
Come
even
here,
on camera? I don't
sweetie.
know if he's even on camera. Oh, there, a little
Come
bit.
here.
He's like just like, there he goes.
Come here.
Butt-E because he's showing his little butt. Come here.
Anyway, what was it yesterday? What was the name of the
Bertha.
storm? Bertha?
Bertha. Hi, bud.
Yeah.
You want to sit?
Like it formed and then like 2 hours later hit Charleston.
It was fast.
Yeah. And we were on the east side of the storm, and the east side tends to get more
Yeah.
rain and stuff. So.
It was fine.
Yeah. It was fine.
It was
We
fine.
didn't even lose power. It didn't even flicker.
Which was good.
Yeah.
Because we needed power. Especially yesterday. 21 months. From LHMS 1704, 21 months. Thanks for 21 amazing months. I recently finished watching your Mario 64 LP for the 5th time, and I still love it. One of my favorite LPs of you two, and a game very close to my heart. Anyway, a great day to you. Love from Norway. Well, thank you. And Mario 64 is actually one of my favorite LPs. It's just feel good. It's not terribly long. There's a lot of very funny moments in it. We still have memorable moments I'm posting from Mario 64. It's actually one of my favorite ones. And I think, I don't want to, speak for the audience, but I feel like Sunshine is actually equally as good. It's more frustrating because it's a harder game, but I think Sunshine is also really good, so.
Chat likes Tulip.
Everybody loves Tulip. Do you have a master list of unposted MMs? No, I don't have a list out there, but I do have... So the way it works is I just have a folder on my computer, and inside the folder is every game folder, and then all of the moments from that game in that folder. And then I have another folder that's like 2020 moments. So I go through the game. I pick out which game I'm going to post.
Like one you haven't done lately.
Yeah. I go to the game, find a moment, and then move it from that folder into the 2020 folder. So at the end of 2020, I'll just have a folder that's like every moment I posted in 2020. And then by moving it out of the folder from the game, that ensures that I don't post it twice. So that's my
system.
That's my system. And to be honest, Dan's been so busy, Dan has not made memorable moments in like 6 months. Like, we have not made any new moments in like 6 months. And that's just because he's been busy on stuff. You know, I don't want to speak for Dan, but based on what he's told me lately, fan favorites will actually be on its way pretty soon, which is exciting. And then once he gets that done, I imagine we'll start seeing some new series from Moments. So, because there's a bunch of stuff we've covered in that time, so there'll be some cool new stuff. Gomez says, do you think there's enough Skyrim moments to last another year? So, there's actually quite a bit of Skyrim moments, but our criteria for memorable moments changed like 2 or 3 years ago, where I don't post memorable moments now unless they're at least 30 seconds long, and we didn't used to have that internal rule. So that's kind of that's a big thing with the Skyrim moments, is there's a bunch of them in there, but they're all less than 30 seconds long. So every once in a while I'll take a few and bundle them together and release it as a little montage, but I haven't done that in a while. So there's still moments, but I don't think I've posted a Skyrim moment in a bit because of that. 5 months from Mad Riddler. Morning, grandparents.
Good morning.
Riddler. Good morning to you. 9 months from Lady Echo, triple plus. Thank you, lady. 500 bits from Night Owl 20. On my break at work, but wanted to stop by to give you some real Brooklyn bits.
That wasn't as good as you did earlier.
I know.
You didn't chew on the word Brooklyn enough.
I gotta think like Thomas. How does Thomas talk about the pizza? Real Brooklyn.
Yeah, he does that.
He does that. To the point that, like, no one
sounds like that.
No one sounds like that. No one actually sounds like that. Real. I keep wanting to shout, real Brooklyn bits. Like, the people from Brooklyn are like, yeah, no one actually sounds like that at all. 20 out of 20. Which is the same as 10 out of 10. Rachel says minus 100 out of 10. That's pretty bad. That's very bad. Like, not even minus 10 out of 10. Just minus 100. Very bad. 300 bits. From Shishizamu says, now I'm just going to say coffee in a Joyzy accent all morning. I do that already, but it's still funny. Is that character from Looney Tunes? Is he from Jersey? Is that character in more than one?
I don't remember.
I feel like
I've
he
seen
is.
So much too.
God, like honestly, every once in a while, Mal and I get on this where we'll be talking about how much we love Looney Tunes and how we just want to just watch.
There's like a
all
compilation DVD set.
Of all of it.
I think so.
It's so good. It's so good. We started watching a new show.
Yeah, we did.
We finally did it. It has been a year, and we kept talking about all these shows we were going to watch. Yeah. And ironically, we didn't
pick any of them.
We didn't pick any of the shows. We had a list of like all these shows that we were going to start watching, and we didn't watch any of them because I haven't plugged up the PS3.
I know.
Because all the shows that we wanted to watch, we have on Blu-ray, and we're like, we're going to watch these shows. And then the other day, there was nothing on YouTube, and I was like, maybe there's something on Netflix. So we were looking through Netflix, and I was like, what about Bojack Horseman? Everyone's like, always recommended that to us. We're like, okay, yeah, all right. So now we've started watching Bojack Horseman. So we're not very far into it. It's going to take us a while to get further into it.
Yeah.
But it's good because it's the right amount of time. Like,
Steven doesn't like to watch shows longer than a half hour.
I don't want to watch a 43-minute show. I just don't want to watch a 43-minute show. Dinner doesn't take 43 minutes. That's my thing. So Bojack is 25 minutes, and I'm like, perfect. Perfect. But I've been enjoying it so far. It's there's a lot going on. Like, it's a very like, it's really tackling some things. Like, it's a comedic show, but then at the same time, like, it's
dark.
It's very dark, and also I'm surprised at some of the places it's going. But I like it so far. There's so much left to see. 4 months from Kansas. Yeah, sure, Kansas 17. Thank you guys for getting through the crazy of life. No problem. Doing our best. 21 months from Perendry. Gotta leave in a bit to get a new cell phone. Nice.
That reminds me of a dream I had last night. I had a dream I was going to New York or somewhere, some big city, and my phone stopped working, so I took out the SIM card and put it in an old Nokia, which was the first phone I ever had, and it was a silver candy bar phone.
Yeah.
First phone I ever had, so I put it in there, and I was like, cool, this is my phone. And then I was trying to get on a plane, and they're like, where's your boarding pass? I'm like, it's on my phone. And then I looked at my phone, and I'm like, wait. And I was like, Stephen, why didn't you just buy me a new phone and you made me use this old Nokia?
That sounds like a good premise for like a short or you're having like real like movie idea dreams. I'm jealous. See, I remember having a dream last night and waking up and thinking, oh, that's really interesting. I should try and remember that to tell it on breakfast stream. And then I forgot it completely. And now I'm trying to like recall any of it. And it's not there. So I was keeping a dream journal for a while. And I would really love to do it, but the problem is it wakes up Mallory. And yeah. I can't do that because, you know, I want Mallory to sleep. But I loved keeping
such a light sleeper.
She's a very light sleeper. And I just maybe one day I'll be able to like very quietly. Because it was so much fun to do. I seriously recommend doing a dream journal. Like it's great. Povo says, I thought you wrote them down. So yeah, I kept do you remember when I kept the dream journal?
Cattail.
It's been a few years ago, and I wrote it down for like 9 months or something. Yeah. And like I could use the app on my phone, but I can't type on the phone as fast as I can write. And that's one of the things about the dream journal is that like you have to write stuff down quick. Like it's fleeting, and you just have to be like, oh god, oh god, oh god, and just get it out as fast as you can. And if I'm typing on the phone, like trying to very quietly and in the dark, like it's probably not. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. You need a keyboard under your hand at night. I'm gonna have to get a Bluetooth keyboard.
Here, you got one.
Can you imagine in the middle of the night you wake up, clack, 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 clack.
Is it Alex's keyboard we hear over Discord a lot? Or Chaz?
A few people have literally the loudest keyboards. I mean, and then also it's bad because we have the quietest keyboards.
Ooh, the callouts.
Everyone's got them dug on. People want to buy them though. They want to buy, and they're nice keyboards. I'm not saying they're not nice keyboards, but they're the loudest frickin' keyboards. They designed the keys to go click, 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 every time. And I'm like, that's great until you're recording something for a living. So it's kind of a problem. And then we've always used the Apple keyboards, which they're the quietest keyboards there are, because the keys are only like this high, and I love it.
Thomas. That's my response to Chaz.
Damon says, you joke, but there's a whole series of keyboards designed to be loud. Oh, I know! Oh, I know. People literally like that. And like that, that's fine. But again, we get Stephen and friends together, and it's not my friend's fault. This is not their profession. But sometimes when we play computer games, you can hear the clack. And I'm like, oh god, the clack. Anyway, 100 bits from White 15 Wolf. Thank you, Wolf. 6 months from Crunchy Professor. Now that exams are graded, it's time for a very strange few months. Time to completely lose track of time.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
I've
lost track of time for a long time.
Thomas said the solution is just to buy them all keyboards.
Listen. In the future, if Stephen Plays goes in great directions, and we hit 1 million subscribers, and every video is getting hundreds of thousands of views, then Stephen and Friends will be able to do that. Everyone will get keyboards and like microphones and cameras and all that crap. Then that would be great. Until then, get to work, viewers. Until then, we'll just have to listen to some clack. Just a little bit of clack.
You know what I started doing yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm starting to write my grandma a letter, like a handwritten, old-fashioned letter.
That's right. You are, because she wants
Yeah, well,
letters.
She didn't say she wanted.
Yeah.
But my dad dropped some stuff off, and he's not allowed into the building and like to see her because that's the policy at the community.
Yeah.
So he dropped some stuff off and got to talk to her from a few feet apart for a little bit. And like, she doesn't watch a whole lot of TV. She doesn't have internet. She doesn't do anything online. She used to email, like at the computer they have at the building, but she doesn't do that. And she's not interested in learning. So my dad's
91.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, everyone calls her all the time because we have a huge family, so she's always talking to someone, but, you know, she's only talking over the phone, her landline. So she can't see, like, photos of my cousin's new house or anything like that. So Rhonda suggested, you know, everyone write an old-fashioned letter and send photos.
Which honestly is actually pretty cool.
So that's what I'm working on.
Like,
I made some stationery.
I think even for like our generation.
Yeah.
And Thomas knows this because Thomas sends letters all the time. Mm-hmm. Like there's a novelty in a genuine appreciation of receiving physical mail.
Yeah.
Like you get physical mail with like a physical image. You know, what do they call those? Photos. What's an image file in real life? Photo, that's it. I mean, it's really cool, you know. So, I'm glad that you're going to be doing that. I hope that your grandmother appreciates it.
Oh, she will. And
then also to everyone else, especially during these weird times, maybe take the opportunity to send someone a physical letter. You know, it really doesn't take you long to do, and like it'll make you feel good. It'll make the recipient feel good. And as Thomas says, it's good to support the post office too. So like, maybe do that. Mail someone a physical paper real life JPEG. I took words from Sparks, item crafting, and that one voice inside my head.
Thomas said it's only 55 cents. You can write anyone in the country.
It is kind of wild how cheap it is to send someone a physical thing.
Yeah.
It's actually nuts. But yeah, if you've been thinking about doing it, do it today. Like mail someone something, you know, and you can either tell them it's going, or you can like
sometimes Thomas just sends us Pokemon cards, just like 2 loose Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Anyway, mail's great. I'll do it tomorrow. 8 months from Goose Goose, who just says Matthew.
Coffee.
We are all Matthew today. Not tomorrow, but today, Matthew Day. 19 months from Quack Team James. Hey, Steven. Looks like I've been here for 19 months. I was wondering, could you tell the running story with the punch card from your school? I remember it was in a Q&A once, but I've lost it since, as I didn't remember the question. Thanks as always. I can give a quick version of it, and then maybe someone here's got the link to the longer version that you can watch in the Q&A. I don't remember which Q&A it is. But short version, for a charity event at the school, not for a charity, but to raise money for the school, because they did that, they did a thing where you got sponsors to sponsor you, so they would pay a certain amount of money for each lap that you did around the school, and there was a day of the year where there was no school, but you still had to come to school, a fundraiser, that's the word I'm looking for, not a charity. So you still had to come to school, and you had to run, and then they would, for however many laps you did, the people that pledges would send that much money or whatever.
So they gave you a punch card, and every time you ran around, you got a hole punch in your card.
Anyway, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I hate the idea of like bothering people for like the give money to my school.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any people to do that because there was no interest to me. So I still had to go to school that day. I went to school, and the way they did it is they put a blank 3x5 card on a rubber band, and you had the rubber band around your wrist, and then as you ran laps, when you would come up to the line, they had a hole punch, and they would punch it, and that's how they would keep track of how many laps you ran. Okay, so the day of the thing, like I didn't
You were
care.
mad.
I didn't care because that was my general feeling about a lot of the stuff that the school did when I was in high school. So I was walking. I didn't run. I didn't have any. There was no reason for me to even be at school. Darn it.
You didn't have anyone pledge.
I didn't have anyone pledge, but I still had to come to school. So I was just walking, doing whatever, and I think it was like you ran for like an hour. Near the end of the hour, I had been walking with Justin, and then another friend of mine, Matt, and I told Justin, I was like, Justin, do you have a hole punch? And he's like, yeah, I have one in my locker. And I was like, I have an idea. So before the race ended, we went and got the hole punch, and we punched the card like to hell and back. I mean, it didn't even make sense how many laps we would have ran. There was one person in my class, Hunter, who he was taking it like super seriously. Like he ran, I think he ended up doing like 35 laps or something. So whenever it was time to like go turn the stuff in, we showed him what we did, and he thought it was hilarious. He was like, oh my god, he's like, that is so funny, because he ran 35 laps, and everyone that was watching the field like
knew that he ran the whole time.
Yeah, that's what he did. So he ran like 35 times. Anyone that watched me knew I walked, but
it's not like there were that many kids out.
But we punched it like, I don't know. It was ridiculous. It was like 50 times or something. Anyway, so we turn all these things in, and my name's on it or whatever. And we go.
It was probably physically impossible for anyone to run as much as you said you did.
So we go to lunch. So everyone's having like lunch, and like the racing part's done. And over the intercom, they say, we just want to announce the winner who ran the most laps with whatever, 50 laps, Stephen George. And like the entire lunch table is just like laughing so hard. I'm laughing, Justin's laughing, Hunter's laughing. It's just great. And then like 1 minute later, over the intercom, Stephen George come to the office. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is so great. So I went, and everyone in the office was super pissed. Like, I walked in, and the entire staff was like, can't believe you would do this. You would cheat like this. And I walked in, and I was like, oh my god, who cares? Like this whole thing is a big joke. I didn't have anyone sponsoring me. There was no reason I should have even had to be forced to come to school and run. Like, what a dumb thing. And me and the principal had not been on good terms for a long time. And she basically was like, you know, do you want me to call your parents? And I was like, you know they don't care. Like, you know that they're going to find this as funny as I did. And she was like, she was so mad. She was like, just get out of here. I made such good friends in high school with the staff. But yeah,
Prince was right. 50 laps times 0 sponsors, 0 money. I don't know why they were upset. Yeah, it's not like you were lying to people to get money.
Yeah. It's, yeah, the thing was, like...
Sudden blast of rain?
Just one blast. Ring! Yeah, I was in trouble a lot in high school, but I was never...
It was never anything serious.
I was never in trouble for something that I honestly felt I should have been in trouble for. Like, I never really did anything bad, but did I have a problem with authority? Yes. Yes, I did.
Like, my students were getting into trouble for, like, actually ruining things,
Yeah,
cheating.
I never did that.
Fighting. That was not your problem.
No. But I ended up not getting in trouble for that because the principal, I mean, she knew. She knew. She had called home before, and she knew that didn't go well for her. Thanks, Mom. So, it's just one of those things, like, just have a sense of humor. No one died. Nothing was ruined. Everyone got a jolly. And it's okay to have a jolly. Anyway. That's the story. I probably go into a little more detail on the Q&A version, but, yeah.
Seb says, I would have thought that was hilarious.
There's a lot of those school stories. A lot of them are probably littered throughout the Q&As. Are we sure no one died? Not that I remember. 10 months from Bored Turtle says, did you know you can use your Twitch emotes in text messages? At least for iPhones you can? Yep.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I knew that. They work as, like, in messages or as stickers. Because on iOS, because it's not technically text, you can just drag things into the messaging and, like, it works. They'll even come across on, like, the computer. But I think you just have to have the Twitch app installed. And as long as you have the Twitch app installed, you have access to all of the normal emotes you would have, and then all of the emotes that you have for, like, your subs. Yeah, I don't know if people are just learning about that. I don't know if it's an Android thing, but it works on iOS. So yeah, you can write a message, and then you can take my face and, like, put it on top of the message, like as a sensor. It's really cool. 300 bits from Prince, who says, energy drinks. I have some experience with this because I hate coffee, scent included, and caffeine doesn't do anything for me. Bang is pretty good, especially the rainbow unicorn flavor, and it's not caffeine-based. Rain is also decent, though I only really like the peach fizz. Bang is ultimately where it's at. Sadly, for personal reasons, I've had to boycott them for the current presidential term, but I'm waiting for them to return soon. I can't get behind energy drinks because I hate the taste. But I also like coffee. So I guess it works out because I can have... Huh?
They tend to have sugar, and you don't put sugar in your coffee.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did for a while.
Put sugar in your coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't need this. So I just, didn't. Also, I'm so glad that people are figuring this out, that you can do the iOS Twitch apps. It's really great. Now you're all set forever. 10 months from Bairiosu. Appreciate it. Thank you for that. And then 9 months from your boy Z Sweezy. That's such a good name. I love Z Sweezy. 300 bits from LHMS1704. Everyone prefers different things, but I use both my name and username in Discord. I even mentioned my full name to you via Patreon. That's right. That's right. Loan. Well, it's a like a Norwegian name, so it's a name that I'm not terribly familiar with the pronunciation of, but I believe that's the way it's pronounced. Lonnie? I think Mech's correcting me. Is that the pronunciation? Lonnie? It's L-O-N-E, which to an American speaker would be like loan, or an English speaker. Oh, Loan-E. Okay. Loney. Neat. Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because, like, there's so many names in the world, and they all have different, like, regions. And then sometimes names are in different places, but the pronunciation is completely different depending on where it is. I'm always learning things. And then just, like, praying that I retain that knowledge the best I can. An anonymous gifter gives a sub to, Lil Asian Chai. Got there. 300 bits from Squid, who says, that's my purse! I don't know you! God, that's what we should have watched.
I wanted to watch that.
I know, but Bojack is free.
Yeah.
Well, it's not free, but we're already paying for Netflix, so it's just there. I don't have all of the King of the Hill DVDs. I have,
Yeah.
I think I have season 1 and 2, and like that's it. So at some point in the future, if I acquire all of that, God, I want to watch all of King of the Hill. 15 months from Marty Griff, 1980. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. 8 months from Ginger Tail. I don't have coffee, but chocolate milk is a good substitute, right?
Yeah.
Love chocolate milk. I get cravings for it. Every once in a while it'll hit me. Usually, like randomly in the year, we'll be eating breakfast somewhere. We'll go to like IHOP or something, and I'm just like, bring me a glass of chocolate milk. And then it's good, but you have to like really take it slow because you don't get refills. So you have to like very carefully over the course of your entire meal just... Someone knows
it from the store, you have a half gallon.
I just want to make sure people know that, they agree. Because I like free refills. Remember when we went to that place in LA with Alex and Haley, and it was infinite refills of hot chocolate?
I know, you had a lot of hot chocolate.
Oh my God, the guy knew by the end. He was just bringing them. He was just bringing them. It was so good, too. Just as a warning, if you're a restaurant owner and you offer free refills on chocolate milk or hot chocolate, be careful, because you'll lose money on me. I promise. 5 months from Gamers Hushu. Hey, Stephen and Mal, thank you for all you do. Your Mario RPG streams helped me through a rough weekend this past weekend. Breakfast stream is an amazing way for me to start my days. Well, I'm sorry that you had a rough weekend, but I'm glad Mario RPG helped. We'll also be back to that tomorrow.
Oh, it's already Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think where we... Oh, we just finished all the sea stuff. We're
Yes.
heading north. Heading north next time. 3 months from Jithery Eagle. Thank you for all the great content and laughs. You're welcome. Thank you, Eagle. 18 months from Pixie Dreams. I'm late, but I finally made it to a stream again. Hope you're both doing well. Good. It's a good morning this morning. It's going to be a good day. Look at my shirt. 20 months from Dragnet 30. Wow, 20 months feels like 2 months. LOL. Finally got my sleep schedule back so I can watch the stream live. Well, that's good.
Good.
You do have to get up to watch the show. It's the hardest part about watching the show. Oh, Alex says, what was the name of the restaurant? I will go there. Norman's? Is it Norman's? That's sticking out in my head. I feel like Jam would know. I don't know if Jam would know or not.
Yeah, Norms.
Norms. Yeah, Norms. Okay, it's called Norms. It's a chain, right? There's a few in LA?
There's a few, but I don't think there's many.
Okay. Yeah.
19 locations.
Anyway, yeah, Norms. Go to Norms. Get infinite hot chocolate.
I think we went to the one on La Cienega. It looks like it.
I don't know when we'll ever be... it's not like we'll never, ever be back to LA.
Yeah.
But now that Alex and Haley don't live there, I'm like, I don't know when the next time we'll be back is. So... Anyway, 300 bits from Nixopad says, so the other day, also known as yesterday, I complained about college to my friends and I said, I'm so done with school. Just give me my diploma so I can graduate and become a teacher. Of course, they typed furiously at me and told me I sounded crazy. Oh well. I mean, graduating is great because then there's no more tests. I hate tests. I really do. 21 months from Marble410. Happy first birthday to my Twitch baby. Oh yeah! 9 plus 12. I got there. Thank you, Marvel. 300 bits from Shy says, Jack would teach archaeology or earth science. It only makes sense with how good he is at opening up a pit. That is good. Mm-hmm. That is good. I like it.
Coffee.
Very clever. Oh my god. I want to do a series of bumpers about this. I want to do a series of bumpers about TRG being teachers. And Jax would start, and it would be a close-up, and he'd be like, all right, everyone, let's open up this pit! And then it, like, quickly zooms out, and he's like, so we can dig for dinosaur bones. That would be so good. So good. I love it. Can we make Jack an earthbender? That is a very different bumper. Equally good, but a very different bumper. Max says, write that down, write that down. Oh.
And before donator is the principal.
Man, there's so many good ideas. There's so many good ideas. And again, I'm trying not to get like terribly excited. You know, the next Coliseum doesn't exist yet. It's not even in the planning stages. So, Flaming Babel for Christ says, "Where's the Google form for bumper suggestions?" It does still exist.
It's a Nightbot.
It's I think it's ! bumpers. Yep. Fossix has got it. You guys can still submit ideas to that sheet. We still have that.
And whenever we can do it, we will be going through them.
Oh yeah, Comment says that's paleontology, not archaeology. True, but it would still work.
Jack is a paleontologist.
That's what he is. That's what he is. That's what he is. Yeah, archaeology is people. Although dinosaurs would still work. I mean, it's still opening up a bit to dig, so he could be both, or either one. 505 bits from Mr. Gameboy says, when making an exam to screw with the students, make all the answers A and then one B in the middle. Just do a pattern of A, B, C, D, C, B, A, repeat. Like many people have noticed, I like chaos. I can very distinctly remember at least one exam in my life where, you know, it's like the same answer, and you start to question yourself, which is awful. That's so terrible. You know what you should do?
What?
Is there should not be letters next to the things. Just the answers. No letters, because otherwise it plays with your head. You're like, why have they all been A? So clearly I'm wrong. What are the odds they'd all be A?
I mean, you can do that, but like if you're doing a Scantron, it doesn't work.
Yeah. What if you did it where everyone's exams were different? Seems hard to make, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with, you know...
Also, that would probably eliminate...
There's Google things that do that, where they'll randomize it for everyone.
That'd probably eliminate cheating.
Yeah, there's also sometimes where there's different versions of tests, so you'll have like an A, B, or C test. So you may be taking test B, and someone may be taking test A.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking of. Like, what's the answer to 3? Well, it's C, but might not be C on yours. 18 months from Cosmic Surf. Most would say happy Twitch twins at 18 months, but I think babies are gross. Can I have more cats instead?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Congrats on 1+, Cosmic. I hope your boys are doing well. 20 months from Phelps Out. 20 full friggin' months. God, how time flies. Love you guys. Congrats on 20 months. It's so crazy that very soon people will be hitting 2 years.
Yeah.
Also 20 months at Tier 2. Rian74, tropical storm canceled the space launch in Florida. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that. Well, I guess they'll just, like, reschedule. They can do that. They got, like, they got the power to do that. They can reschedule things. 13 months from Darkness Bride. Appreciate it. Grand Spectre gives a sub to Mario Link Kirby. Appreciate that. 300 bits from Gold Mage, who says, the real question is, will the Skyrim memorable moment montages finish being released before Elder Scrolls 6? And you're required by law to make 100% stream LP of it. To distract you from the panic that might have induced, you should know there are 7 species of sea lion, ranging in size from the small Galapagos sea lion to stellar sea lion, the males of which can be 2,500 pounds. They big boys. Big boys. I don't know if Skyrim will be finished releasing before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Maybe. I'm also probably at a point with the Skyrim moments that I could just take the rest of them and just make them one big
montage thing. Mm-hmm.
Also, Armored Frog says the next launch attempt is 3:22 Eastern on Saturday. Okay, so they did reschedule it. Well, that's good. Anything that advances space. Let's continue to look to the stars. But I'm Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't like cause me any anxiety. I already know I'm gonna stream it. And will I make 100% stream? I mean, it's possible. I really just genuinely enjoyed Skyrim. It was a lot of fun. And I know that I'm going to play Elder Scrolls 6 in some capacity, so I'm not freaked out by it. I know that when that day comes, which will be a while, because I'm not sure how much they're even really working on it, when it comes, I'll play it. 4 months from Jade Kide Gaming. Adam, thanks to your tip on the price drop on the Blackmagic Pocket camera, I've been needing to upgrade my camera. I recall you got the 20mm Lumix lens and know the field of view from these streams. How far from the camera do you typically sit? Okay, so cool that you got the tip on the price drop. If anyone else didn't hear that, Blackmagic permanently dropped the price of their Pocket 6K from $2,500 to $2,000. And is that a lot of money? Sure, $2,000 is a lot of money for a camera, but for what you get, it's a really good deal. We don't have the 6K, we have the 4K. 4K is considerably cheaper if you just want a cinema camera and you're looking for something that will do 4K. The 4K is $1,300 and then the 6K is $2,000. However, just so you know, Jadekine, the lens on this is not the 20mm anymore. So just be aware of that. It's micro four thirds body, or lens, you know what I mean, sensor. So it's going to be 2x crop. So the 20 is a 40, but we put that on mouse. So hold on. Jadekine says, what lens do you use? So the one on this right now is the, it's the Lumix, let me tell you. It's the 1235.
1235.
Yeah, this is the one that Mao
buddy.
used to use. The one that we have on it right now is the 1235. And it looks like it's sitting at about 30. So at 30, doubled, it's about 60. So this is about 60 mil. Probably. And how far away are we from the camera? Like 6 feet?
Think of how tall you are if you laid down.
Probably pretty close to 6 feet. Something like that. Somewhere in that range. But Mao's using the 20 mil, and so the advantage of using a prime is that it's sharper. If you use a prime lens, it's going to be sharper. But the downside, of course, is that you are going to have to move the camera. So that's something to consider. I really like the 1235. It's a more expensive lens, but obviously it gives you options. So it's kind of up to you. If you can if you have the space to move your camera and you're okay with moving it to a location and leaving it, getting a prime like the 20mm is going to probably be sharper, and then also it's going to be cheaper by a lot. I think the 20mm is like, do you remember how much that lens is?
No, you're the one who bought them. They just show up.
So the 1235 is like $900, but the 20mm is much cheaper, like much cheaper. 200, less than 200, I think. So yeah, something to consider. And like if you don't, and that's the other thing. If you don't need the 6K, you can get the 4K and a 20mm lens, and you're looking at like $1,500, and that's crazy. Like it's a cinema camera. It looks really great. So yeah. Anyway, I hope all that helps. I always love to answer questions and stuff. But yeah, right now, this second, we're probably about 6 feet away from the camera, and it looks like it's around 30. I think it's probably around 30 millimeters right now. And again, that's on this micro four thirds body, so it's doubling it in reality. So how far away do you sit from your camera, you think? Because you're at 40.
A little closer than this.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Not by much.
Yeah, and that makes sense because you have a shorter thing. The other thing that's really good about that Lumix, that 20mm, is that it's a 1.7. And like if so if you need light, you can open it up, but like you need to
You are shit.
You need to stop it down in order to get it sharper. So like Mal, it's a 1.7, but we keep Mal's at like 4.5, and I don't know. You guys be the judge. Mal makes videos look pretty good, so I like it. And Gerber says, "Is the black magic good in motion?" There is no in-body stabilization, so that's the one thing that you're not going to get. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you want a cinema camera, Blackmagic is going to be some of the like price to performance ratio, the best you're going to get. But there is no in-body stabilization, so just be aware that if you're going to use it outside of a production environment, a studio environment, you're gonna need some sort of stabilization system. But if you're using it as a studio camera, it's so friggin' good. I love it.
Kippy, my
love
head's here.
He's a good boy. Spark says, to be frank, Malmix doesn't need the bokeh backgrounds. Yeah. I mean, that's another good reason, you know, to stop it down and get the sharpness, is because, like, her background is black. Like, could we blur the background? I mean, yeah. And Sparks also points out that lens stabilization exists. Yeah, and it supports that. So, like, the 4K, so the 1235 that's on here has lens stabilization. I mean, obviously it's on a tripod, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, lens stabilization it's fine. It's better than having nothing. But, you know, if you're relying on it, you might be disappointed, basically. If you have a really good camera that has good in-body stabilization with a lens that support, like, they work together, it's incredible. Like, I've been really salty about Panasonic in the past, but their stabilization's real good. It's real good. Anyway, sorry. It's very easy for me to, like, ramble about this stuff, but
I know.
I get excited when someone has genuine questions about stuff. I'm like, I can help. I can help. I like Blackmagic stuff. If I had all the money in the world, I would probably buy I'd probably buy a Canon cinema camera. Maybe. Like the C series, because like those look good, the stabilization is good, they have autofocus. Like, oh, and that's the other thing. Blackmagic's not going to have autofocus. So if that, again, these are cheaper cameras. They don't have stabilization, they don't have autofocus. But if you don't need those things, God, it's so good, because we don't need to change the focus. We don't need stabilization. It's a perfect studio camera. So wonderful. Anyway, I'll move on, I promise. 300 bits from Humbology. So glad to catch morning stream for the first time in a while. I can't stay too long because I start the first day of my new internship after being unemployed for almost a year. Hope you have a great day.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Congratulations. I will have a great day. It sounds like you will too. Good. You got a sub here from CharHutch97. Welcome. Thank you.
When I pet Kippy's chin like this and he puts his head back, he pushes it into my face.
He's a stinker. He's a stinker. Spark says Canon is also knocking it out of the park with its autofocus. The autofocus on the C-Series is real good. Like, try not to jump back into this conversation for
Keep
I
moving.
just want to say that Sony's is really good. It's really good. Like, of everyone, like, Sony's got some problem with their color science, but their autofocus is real good.
Okay, move on.
Okay, promise. I'm moving on. 100 bits from Jake's Weapon Workshop. Thank you, Jake. 300 bits from Grand Spectre. Appreciate it. 300 bits from Noah, who says, I got into a fight in elementary school, and when the principal called home, my dad said, how long is he suspended so we can take him to Disney? Wow. That's pretty good. I like that story a lot. Good guy, Dad. 300 bits from Andrew in the kitchen. Now, while teaching, were there ever times that you found things really funny but had to hold it in because you had to stay professional and authoritative? In my first placement, my oldest kids just suddenly opened an umbrella in my lesson, and I couldn't stop laughing, and neither could their actual teacher. They apologized for the umbrella in their card to me at the end of my placement, and also Toasty, because you know.
I can't think of anything in particular. I don't know. I feel like I was a bit more lax than I probably should have been sometimes. Like, especially when I had, like, my advanced photo kids. It was like, guys, you're seniors. You've taken 3 years with me.
Well,
you know my rules.
Wasn't there also a dress code that you didn't enforce?
Like, for myself?
Was it for you?
Yeah, it was for me.
Oh, so you just disobeyed the rules for teachers.
I was teaching art. I'm not gonna wear fancy dress pants when I'm throwing ceramics.
I mean, I agree. But you were a rebel too.
Yeah. There was one time I had to be professional and it was difficult.
Sorry, just that statement's great.
I tripped over my step ladder. The tall step ladder that I think your parents have right now. I had that in my classroom for a long time.
Oh,
and I tripped over it, and I fell and hurt myself. And the kids, like, were super concerned about me, and I was, like, trying not to laugh and cry. I was like, I'm okay.
Sorry about that. 5 months from Skelpendra. Appreciate it, thank you. 300 bits from Summer Centris says, on the topic of Norwegian names pronunciation, my name is Hanne, pronounced Hannah. Interesting. So, like, again, English pronunciation of that word would probably be Han? Like, Han would be Han, but a lot of times in English, those extra letters, the N and the E, aren't pronounced. They're silent. So, like, either Han or Han. Maybe Han would be a better pronunciation for English. But Hannah. Neat. Extended says Hanny. Yeah, we could. I mean, English also doesn't make any sense. So that's the other thing, is that we have so many different rules for so many different words that you could pronounce it either way and it would be, like, fine. Like, yeah, that seems right. 300 bits from Item Crafting Live. Thinking Netflix shows, have you two watched Midnight Diner? It's little slice-of-life stories about different patrons of a diner in Tokyo. Fun stories and some amazing food pictures. I have not heard of that.
Not heard of it.
It sounds like something we'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little stories. I'll keep that in mind. 300 bits from Phoenix Nova. Hello, grandparents. Does the Animal Crossing villagers high emote? Ding! It makes a little ding sound.
It does.
They wave. Hearing Stephen get free refills of hot chocolate/chocolate milk reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Homer remarks he ran a Pizza Hut out of business due to free soda refills. Hope Stephen doesn't get to that level. Give me enough time.
Arian asked about cats biting and how we trained ours not to.
When they were kittens, when we first got them, I mean,
Kittens...
They had no training.
Yeah, kittens explore everything with, like, their mouths.
Yeah. So the way we did it, the way we got them to not do that, and now they literally have never bit or scratched anybody, which is wonderful.
Sometimes we get scratched playing.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. They've never
attacked.
They've never treated humans as toys.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we did that was, you know, we would, you know, be petting them or whatever. If they were like, oh, this is playtime, you immediately stop because they want things to move. So you just immediately freeze and you give them a hard, sharp no. You know. Not now, buddy. I'm not saying no to you. So just no. And then you just stop until they stop. And then you go back to petting them. If it happens again, same thing. No. And then what you do is you introduce toys to them. And when you play with the toys, you really encourage them and you praise them and stuff like that. And then over time...
Toys on sticks are good too, so your hands aren't in the space.
Yeah, so like what happens is over time, they associate that praise with the toys. And they associate like the nose with, you know, people. And then they never They never bit us. They never scratched us. They've never bit or scratched company.
Or the vet.
Or the vet. Like, they've just been, even when they're scared or angry or whatever, they never have done that to people. And that, I feel like we did good on that front. So that's my greatest advice for anyone that has a kitten in their life, is to try your best to try and establish that as early as possible.
In fact, any rules with kittens as early as possible. Like, you know, you don't want them on the counter, well, you gotta start that early, because then they don't. Like, Kep rarely gets on the counter.
Arian said, how long did it take?
It's about consistent training for a while, like until they get old enough so it's just habit.
I mean, it could probably take a few months. The thing is, you have to be consistent, like
every time.
Mm-hmm. You can't decide at any point, like, oh, it's cute when they bite me. No, like, you just can't, because if you do that, if like one time you decide, oh, I'll let them, we'll play fight, then all bets are off. So you have to decide at the beginning, I don't want them to ever play fight with me. They only play with toys.
Kitten Lady has a good video on kittens biting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So.
Which is basically all the same stuff. Like, you know, keep your fingers not as toys. Like, use toys.
Yeah, use toys.
Yeah.
Was it helpful that you were working from home all the time? I mean, probably because we were around the cats more, but I don't know that
is necessary.
Yeah. It's just whenever they interact with you, a person, you know, so. And, like, it's not imperative that you don't teach your cat to not bite. Like, it's not a requirement. And some people like to play fight with the cats. My mom does that with Rocco. And Rocco will bite the crap out of her. And, like, she's fine with that. That's something she likes to do. But you have to basically, you know, you have to make that decision. You know, what you want to do.
Doing?
So. Who's a good boy?
He keeps pushing his head against my chin like I'm petting him.
Hey.
Love him. 100 bits from Sudabite. Suda, thank you. Also 245 bits from Marty Griff, 1980. Marty, thank you. 13 months from Secret Adept. Spooky month. 300 bits from Danny X6, who says, like kittens, I also explore things with my mouth. Don't worry about it.
Kepler.
I feel like now, in the current state of the world, could be a little dangerous to explore things with your mouth.
Kepler.
500 bits from Sparks15, who says, sorry for encouraging your camera talk, but I can also waffle on about cameras for hours. Speaking of,
help me.
Have you seen the Canon EOS R5 specs? They're incredible for a mirrorless body. Yes.
Steven, help me.
You're fine.
I can't. My neck hurts.
Well, I'm not going to move him, so. I'm allowed to talk about cameras when the alerts themselves are about cameras. Yeah, the specs for the R5 are incredible. Oh my god. Think about exploring things with your mouth. I want to know how I can explore the world. I really think that I should go for a whirl, using my tongue to explore everything. Like, that tastes like a ring. I had your finger in my mouth.
Or you done?
You know what?
Okay, bye.
I'll take it, because that could have gone in so many more dirty directions. I'm fine with it. And, as a bonus, people got to hear me go, whoa. That sounds like yeah.
You can call that a bonus if you want.
Thank you, Danny. There's so many more terrible ways that could have gone.
I think
so
Kep got too warm.
I'm happy.
Because I'm warm.
Anyway. We'll wrap up here. The R5 is incredible. I don't know what the price tag is going to be on that thing. Probably high. Probably looking at like a $4,000 body. Is that what that's what like the S1H is? I think it's about that much. But yeah, you're getting 8K 30, which is overkill, But sure, let's push the industry forward. 8K30, 4K 120, I think. So, yeah. And, like, can Canon do it? I mean, yeah, I want to see it in action. But, like, still. It's exciting. It's exciting. What I'm waiting on right now, like, the thing that I'm super curious about is, you know, we've seen Panasonic come out with the S1H. Canon has announced the R5, like, hey, we can do mirrorless, we promise. Oh yeah, and it's IBIS 2. Oh, and it's full sensor, isn't it? It's IBIS 4K 120 and also full sensor, which is like, anyway, they're doing really cool things. Or is it, maybe it's not full sensor at 120, maybe it's full sensor at 8K30, and 8K30 can do RAW. Yeah, there's all sorts of, like, wild things happening. But yeah, Panasonic's got the S1H. Canon's coming out with the R5. The thing that I'm really interested in is, like, where's Sony's? Where's Sony's? Where's this A7S III? Where's that? And there's some heavy rumors that we could be hearing about it in June. And I'm like, cool. Noah says I'm headed out. It's firm egg time. Get out. Enjoy your sandwich.
Not chess. Thomas says complicated equation. I saw the Cal 2 and I saw C and then the A and I was like, chess.
Anyway, again, I can talk about this stuff. I can talk about this stuff a lot. Continue your previous song.
What was the previous song?
What was the previous song? What was the previous song? I don't remember what I was singing about. I don't mean to cause me to shout. Oh yeah, exploring the world with your mouth so quick. You can put your mouth on lots of things and they will make you sick. Woo! Family friendly.
Coffee.
Mech says that was close. It's fine. My brain was like, I came up with a rhyme, and I'm like, not that one. Not that one. You have anything else? Sick? And I was like, yep. And you came up with it at the same time. You were worried for me. You're like, how did you forget already? Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
My life is I will walk into the kitchen and be like, why am I here? This is good music for walking into the kitchen and not knowing why you're there. Want to make a short film. me in my chair. I gotta go to the kitchen and get some chips. And then me walking into the kitchen. No!
The chips and forgetting.
It says encore. People are sending bits to get an encore. When it comes to the mouth, I guess they want some more. Don't you know that everyone should open wide and grab the nearest object, put it down deep inside? Ew. Huh. Sorry, I've never tasted random objects before. When was the last time you tasted ceramic?
I mean, it's basically glass. That's what that is. It's laminated glass. That's not ceramic. That's ceramic.
The kitchen says, what is happening? It's called, we need to end the stream before things get worse. That was 5,000 for Sparks 15 said encore. You can't keep asking me to sing about the same song. You know what happens. It doesn't work out very well. It doesn't. Mr. Gameboy 18 gives a sub to Hogarth Von Tenderstick. It's a great name. 5 months from Ghosty Toasty 3. Thanks for the amazing content during this time. No problem. Trying. 300 bits from K Magical. Hey Mao, how about paints? Am I right? What's the news in the art world? Is there news in the art world?
What did Golden say the other day?
Because I know I'm always like, let me tell you about cameras.
I don't know, but I started using pre-mixed isolation coat.
Well, that's a new product.
Well, it's a few years old. But I only just ran out of what I had been using for isolation coat so that I could start to use this product that's been out for a while.
So Mao gets to save a little bit more time.
And I don't have to carry distilled water because I had a gallon of distilled water to mix my isolation coat. And then I had it so long that the gallon leaked water everywhere. Like, it just degraded enough to leak. It was a slow leak. It wasn't like it fell into pieces. And then I had to get another one. And then I'm like, when is this one gonna break? But then I ran out of soft gel gloss. So now I can buy isolation coat. Pre-mixed.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
It's really helpful. Because, I mean, like, Mal's been mixing her own, and this just saves her
and
time.
And it's fine. It's just... Now I don't have to think about the ratios and worry about distilled water.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good.
They have some other new products I want to try.
And, like, there's also always new art stuff coming out because, like, people they make new like new pigments are discovered, and it's like now there's a new blue
stuff. Yeah.
You know. And that's neat.
Is it Culture Hustle that makes the super matte black? I think so. Someone sent me the black 2.0. Now they have black 3.0, and Michael got it.
Thomas says, there are more colors? They're always coming out with new colors. They find new colors.
Or new things to make things more matte, or...
Yeah. There's always like new stuff happening.
Yeah.
So you gotta talk about new colors sometimes. Thomas says, how is that possible? There are more than 12 colors. I promise. 500 bits from Jay Moore says, lovely song. Thank you. Which one? So many about the same subject. Oh God. Since we're getting this. Oh, just this. Okay. Yeah. One more time, I'll sing about this terrible topic. Oh my God. I guess I'll just try and rock it. I'll tell you once more about the inside of your face. Put everything inside, then you will be a disgrace. And also do it in front of people and they'll call the police.
This guy keeps just shoving blades of grass in his mouth.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. For the fact that that's like the fourth or fifth time I was saying about that topic, I don't think that was that bad. Police out of 10. For reference, since forgetfulness, this is about the exploring the world with your mouth topic. And yes, I remember the tomato soup grilled cheese pizza song montage. We do this on purpose since it's fun. It's God, I don't remember how many songs we did about grilled cheese pizza.
I don't remember.
Tomato soup. But it was a lot, and I remember the songs getting bad. Very bad, very quickly. 11 months from Colin Mick Vicar, who says, it's the stream that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend. We're almost done. You'll see. There's an ending. 15 months from Ozel with an E. You're still going. I was watching the bonus stream on John's channel. Guys were great. But I look over and see your icon still glowing, and I'm like, something must have gone wrong down there. Or gone down over there. Yeah, it's fine. It's still not 2 hours, so it's a win. 300 bits from Item Crafting says, Mal, do you have any suggestions for good texture additives for paint? I've been painting models and was experimenting with ways to make a stone effect. That's a good question.
So I really only use gold.
Forceful love and exploring things with the mouth. You think you're almost done. Danny, let me tell you a topic that I love. It is about things that arrive from above. You look up and you don't need to shout. Open your mouth up. Here comes the gout. Oh God, where'd that go?
You're not even making any sense.
Well,
anymore.
How can I make sense at this point? You can only make sense for so long. You open your mouth and you insert the gout. Insert the gout into pelican mouth. Danny, listen, we're gone. The mind's gone. The mind's gone. The mind's gone. Please give the texture.
Anyway, so I
the stream ends when you give the texture.
Only have experience with golden because that's what I used in college, and I haven't really tried other stuff because I haven't found something I like as much. And they have coarse molding paste, which they say dries like sandpaper. So that might be something you can either mix it. All of golden stuff is mixable with each other. What's the word I want? They all work together.
They work together.
Yeah. But you can also just kind of like paint it with that and then paint on top too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, compatible. They're all compatible.
There's words that work for that.
Yeah.
Compatible's one of them. Synergy. Synergy. What was the guy, who's the guy, the Microsoft guy that gets up on the stage and it says the same thing? He doesn't work at Microsoft anymore. What's the thing? Someone knows what I'm talking. Developers. Balmer. Thank you, Balmer. Developers. Why is that? Why did I get that from Synergy?
Oh.
It's been an interesting morning.
I don't know.
300 bits from Danny, who says, thanks for getting someone in chat to say the phrase forced love gout. I very much appreciate it. I don't know why I went with gout. I know some people were like, isn't gout feet? Yeah, that makes it worse. Look up, open mouth, insert foot. Which is kind of, in some way, what I feel like I do on stream sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop there. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we jump back into Mario RPG. We still got a few weeks of it left. Should be fun. The vlog should be out today, hopefully. And nothing else to announce.
I have a painting out this weekend.
Yes, she does. Mouse painting's done.
Yeah.
Mouse painting is done.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I hope you all love it. We'll be getting the videos and stuff all set, and Lord willing, both will be out Saturday. Both versions.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I'm gonna work on the full today, and then you're gonna film the end stuff, and then I just gotta
so excited.
Put stuff together.
It's just May. Listen, May has been good, but I'm telling you guys, before May ends, good things will happen, and that's great. We don't have to wait for June for the good. The good's happening now. 500 bits from Colin, who says, so, your shirt. And I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. You might be allowed to say the F word again soon. And 1962 bits from Bucky Boy 2009 says, tacos after the stream.
We had breakfast burritos yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
what you're remembering.
yeah.
And we just had chicken tacos.
We actually have had some tacos recently, but not today. I don't think we're having tacos today.
No, I thought ground beef for hamburger.
You know, if we put it in a tortilla, it's a taco. I am here to tell you, so say hip hip hooray. There's a new Fallout 4 episode coming on Sunday. Can you believe that we're almost to the end? There might be more soon after that. Yes, it could be a trend. It could be a trend. That's all you get. That's all you get. You learned something. I'm ending the stream.